How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Set 6, and today we've got a new trailer from Sandfall Interactive for Expedition 33. Now, for those of you who don't know, Expedition 33 is the ludicrously good-looking turn-based RPG that's coming out next year. We have a release window, which is spring next year, so not a massive amount of time for us to wait in order to get our hands on this beautiful-looking game. And like, the more story aspects of it we get to see in trailers, the more interested I'm getting. The game looks super good. If you've not watched the trailer, I'll put the link to it in the description. Make sure you go and watch the trailer yourself, just because it's fun. I'm going to be like using freeze frames and cutting it up and stuff like that in this video. Go watch the full thing in its entirety. Just enjoy the flow. But you know what we're here to do? We're here to break the trailer down and have a look at what new information we get in it. I'm probably going to only briefly touch on information that we've already had, because we do have two other videos on the channel. I think I've done two. Yeah, two other videos on the channel breaking down like the world and characters of Expedition 33 so far. But there are a few new pieces of information as well. We've had some cast reveal information, and they've gone pretty hard with the cast. So yeah, anyway, shut up, like the video, subscribe for future content, but let's jump into it. So the trailer opens and we get some shots similar to ones that we've already had. Like we get the shot of Gustav and his partner before she bites the dust. That's a bad joke. That's a real bad joke. But we get that shot, we get a few other shots of things that we've already seen, the paintress, stuff like that. But the interesting thing here is the dialogue going over the top of it. And the dialogue goes, "Do you know how it feels to disappear into nothingness? Their memory, their dreams, their love for each other. We exist for as long as she wants. You won't yet understand, but this is a kindness, not a cruelty." So it kind of feels like this character is trying to justify what the paintress is doing in some degree or some aspect, or at least justify that when the people disappear, then their pain disappears and things like that. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. And we have had some information revealed about this character, and we learn that this character that's speaking right now, and we see that it's this character speaking because it continues to speak and the voice matches up with the words, and he's speaking to Mael. And it seems like it's probably, maybe not late game, but mid game. This feels like a lot of the footage in this is from later on in the game, because you see some insane damage numbers in the combat. We'll look at that in a minute. But we learn that this character is called Renoir. And Renoir is a man who is relentlessly driven to save his family. He knows that victory demands sacrifice, and he's ready to pay the price. So, I don't know, is Renoir supposed to be some powerful person in the world, maybe? Maybe Renoir's the person who set this series of expeditions in motion, you know, kind of throwing people onto the front line to lay the trail, so that at some point someone can defeat the paintress and save his family, as well as a few other people. I don't know, maybe that's the vibe. Maybe that's the vibe. But as he says the final line, "But this is a kindness, not a cruelty," we get a shot of another character, another new character that's been announced to us. And this one is played by Ben Starr, so everyone who thought that they heard Ben Starr's voice in a previous trailer, this is the character that Ben Starr's playing, and it's a character called Verso. And in the same PlayStation blog article, I will throw the link in the description as well so that you can go and check that out. But they asked Ben how he would describe Verso. And he said, "Lost, lonely and dangerous," and that he expects players to feel every emotion imaginable as they get to know his character. And this is probably the main thing I want to talk about in this breakdown, because Verso has piqued my interest a little bit. He seems, when I saw him, I thought, is that Gustav? Like, immediately the first thing I thought was, is that Gustav? Because they do look quite similar, and it's beginning to feel like he's going to be that foil for Gustav, the opposite of Gustav. And it even goes as far as his name being Verso. And Verso is a word that has its roots in Latin from the word folio, and it basically means the reverse of a page, or the opposite side of a coin or a painting. And I'm starting to feel like he is going to be the opposite of Gustav, in the way that everything that's happened has made Gustav seem stronger and more determined to end the paintress and, you know, sort of get vengeance for his loss in a lot of ways, or at least try and make it right so nobody else has to go through that loss. Verso feels like he's the opposite of that, and I feel like what's happened with Verso has pushed him into a bit of a like a pit of despair. It's just turned him into a bad guy, basically. That's what it looks like. Although from what Ben said, it definitely feels like the character's going to be more nuanced than that. So something to look forward to there. Anyway, Verso in straight up Italian has several other meanings, so it could be nothing. But it was just something that popped into my head straight away as soon as I saw the name. So yeah, something to keep an eye on. It does seem to fit thematically with the two characters. And the voiceover straight after this comes from Gustav, and it's him saying that he's not going to let Maëlle die out here. So, you know, really driving home that determination that Gustav's got at the minute, and that massively protective vibe that he's got towards Maëlle. And as we've gone over in the previous video, it's on the website, you know, we learn that Maëlle and Gustav are foster siblings, so that's obviously going to be there for him. But we've also got the super suspicious background of Maëlle, where we're kind of not sure where she came from. She's an orphan. She's going on this expedition when she's young. You know, she doesn't need to go on this expedition. There's definitely something going on with Maëlle, and the fact that we see Renoir earlier on talking to Maëlle about the sacrifice and everything like that. So yeah, I get the feeling that Renoir could maybe be Gustav's daddy? I don't know. They do kind of look a little bit alike. But if we're going to go down this road, we're going to have to throw Verso in there as well. And maybe that is something that's going on. Maybe Gustav and Verso are related in some way. Maybe they're also related to Renoir. Maybe that's why Renoir's having the conversation with Maëlle, because foster child, possibly. I don't know. There's a weird vibe about Renoir as well, with like the missing eye and everything like that. And obviously with Verso, weird vibe there. He looks very angry. Very intense. Very angry. So, yeah, we need to get more info on these characters. There are a couple more characters that we've not had revealed to us yet, so I'm looking forward to getting more information on them. But other than those details, most of the trailer just gives us more combat. We had to see some slightly higher level combat, I believe. You know, we're doing a lot more damage, higher numbers. We're seeing a lot more counters and things like that. We're also seeing a lot more options that the characters can select from in combat. We also get to see a bit of Loon combat, which I don't think we've seen yet. I don't recall seeing Loon in the previous trailer. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But on top of that, we see a little bit more traversal. And referring to the PlayStation blog again, this is apparently some sort of Pictos-powered grappling hook. So the Pictos, if you remember correctly, they're the things that we can pick up and equip to the characters so that they get boosts and they can learn skills from them, I believe. We obviously need more details on this. We're piecing a lot of things together. But yeah, generally, it's giving us another look at some of the other environments in the game, another look at the grappling hook, and another look at the combat, which is all good. It all looks really good. The combat looks smooth and fluid. I've already broken down the combat in a bit more detail in the previous trailer video, so check that one out. But the fresh and pertinent information in this trailer is the new characters, and it is some of the things that the characters are saying while the trailer's going on. Just after Gustav has said that he's not going to let Maëlle die out here, we hear Maëlle herself, I believe it is, say that she's having nightmares, and it wouldn't shock me if those shots that we see of her and Renoir are the nightmares. I would believe that to be the case, because they seem to take place in this weird space that's almost reminiscent of the Edge of Creation from Remake and Rebirth, you know, where Sephiroth and Cloud kind of have their little personal space to have dialogue with each other. It almost feels like that is what's going on. So, maybe. We continue with more combat, and again, we're seeing Loon in combat, we're seeing big damage numbers, and we hear Renoir say, "Why do you refuse to see I am doing this for us?" So again, pushing that whole, he's doing this for the greater good kind of thing. But what is he doing? That's what we need to know. What is it that Renoir is actually doing? Maëlle then says it felt familiar somehow while she's looking up at the camera, and it's that scene from the previous trailer where they've interacted with the Goblu, and she kind of reaches out to it to make contact with it, and I feel like it comes from some sort of weird connection that Maëlle has got with the Paintress, but it remains to be seen. Wild speculation at this point. And then finally we get what I believe is Renoir again. It could be Verso, but I believe it's Renoir. And he says, "May everything be decided before their very eyes, between the bars of their prison." And I would guess that he's referring to the expedition itself as the prison that they're within, and they're gonna, over the course of this journey, see how everything pans out and see how things are decided. It's definitely starting to feel that there's some special purpose behind Expedition 33. Like, maybe this is kind of like a, I don't know, maybe it's something they've been setting up for a while, and now Expedition 33 is the point where it's gonna come to fruition, the plan, whatever the plan may be. I don't know, but there's definitely, this Renoir character's definitely pulling strings. That's what it feels like, that's what it looks like. How Verso comes into it, I mean, I get the feeling he's probably going to be like a constant stumbling block that gets put in front of our paths that we'll have to overcome as the game goes on, and as we do, we'll learn more about his, I assume, tragic story. I get the feeling not many people in this world have got a positive life experience at the minute. So yeah, Verso's story is probably going to be pretty dark. And like I say, it does sound like it could be quite a nuanced character. That kind of makes us question what is right and what is wrong, and is he doing the right thing, are we doing the right thing? And they're the best characters. They're the best ones. I love those characters. But yeah, in general, this trailer is crazy. I highly recommend that you go and watch it. Combat looks really good, the music sounds really good, the game itself looks beautiful. We've still got loads more information to come about this game, and we've got a release window, spring 2025, so we do not have long to wait. Anyway, that's going to be me today. I'm possibly going to do a video, maybe when we get one more trailer, I'm possibly going to do a video bringing all of the combat stuff together that we've got so far, and just try and focus on that specifically. But for now, we'll stick with the story stuff, but the combat does look real good. Turn-based goodness for everybody. But let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Does the trailer look good? Are you hyped? Are you interested? What do you think about Verso, Renoir, anything like that? Just drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe for future content, but more importantly than all of that, have a great day.